like my favorite movie is Groundhog's Day. You know what I was saying? Black. You know what also makes money? Black trauma. And they put it all together in 29 minutes and they're just like, hey, here you go.
Anywhere you go, give it all. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Hey you guys, it's the Yarn Goddess Cosplay and I'm back again with another Stitch and Bitch Sunday video. This little series here is where I sit down with you guys and complain to you about a terrible movie that I watched recently. Well, I crochet. We're gonna get right into it. I decided to watch, well, I would say watch, but I really decided to hate watch a short film on Netflix called Two Distant Strangers. Child. If you're unfamiliar with the movie, it is a short film directed by Trayvon Free and Martin Desmond Rowe. And real quick, this is one black guy and one British American director. Sarah, what are you doing here? The movie is described to be an American short science fiction drama film, basically portraying the main character, Carter James, as a black man who's trying to get home to his dog, and every time he leaves his girl's house and tries to go to his home where his dog is, he runs into a police officer. Yeah, off to a great start. Every time he runs into a police officer, you know, he gets killed by the police. I know, right? Just amazing. It's like it's a science fiction. Like, this can't possibly be anything else than real. Like, it's wild. It's crazy, right? The twist here is that every time he gets killed by police, the timeline gets restarted, and you are now stuck in this. I don't even know how to even describe it. This macabre Groundhog Day, where this black man is just repeatedly killed by the same police officer, no matter what he does. And I remember like watching this and thinking to myself, I won't even need notes for this one. I watched it one time and literally I was like, this is it. I know exactly what to say about this. Because the reason why I had decided to watch this movie to even begin with is because there was a post on Twitter and someone had said, or someone had shared an image of the main character laid out on the ground in a pool of blood that pulled out into the shape of Africa. And the caption was, I bet the directors thought this shit was deep. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I have to watch this because what is going on? And then on top of it too, and the reason why I had to watch it is because it was not just a short film that, you know, Netflix was like, yeah, we could put it here. It got Oscar nominated. Like, 29 minutes of black trauma, Oscar nominated film. Wow, amazing. Like, just like the material, I don't even know. I was like, okay, so it's Oscar nominated, so like, okay, what is this about? And then the final straw that caused me to watch this, really want to hate watch it, is I was watching The Daily Show and Trevor Noah did an interview with one of the directors. And he was just like, I wanted to make a short film showing white people that it's not us. No matter what we do, we will get, the situation doesn't change. Anything, police brutality isn't a matter of what we could do to change. It's a matter of the system needs to be changed. And I was like, okay. So how did you portray this in 29 minutes? How did you explain this in 29 minutes? And when I sat down and watched it, it was just trauma. It was literally just trauma. There was no real inventive ingenuity outside the fact. No, there was nothing. There was nothing. They literally was just like, my favorite movie is Groundhog's Day. You know what I was saying? Black. You know what also makes money? Black trauma. And they put it all together in 29 minutes and they're just like, hey, here you go. I'm not even going to explain much of the movie. I'm really here just to mostly rant about this thing because it's so uninventive that I could literally say, hey, the guy basically the guy doesn't make it to his dog like at all. Like, he gets close at the end and he literally never makes it. And he just keeps getting killed in different ways that actually happened in real life. I just keep hearing in the back of my head how the director said, I wanted to make a film where white people could see that we are not the problem, that no matter what we do, we aren't the ones that need to be changed. It's the system needs to be changed. And I'm like, okay, cool, noble cause and everything, but like, if you think that the actual video recordings of the actual police shootings that happened, that get shared on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and in the news, like, do you not know how many times I have seen George Floyd's body online? A lot. And if you think your 29-minute short film is going to somehow make white people wake up and realize, oh my God, people are dying, black people are dying, then what are you seeing that I am not seeing? Because as far as I'm concerned, white people know what's going on and they just don't fucking care. I'm really over this new wave. I don't even call it a new wave. I think it's just my generational wave where I get to be aware of it now, of black directors putting out films that are somehow Oscar nominated, and it's just black trauma. It's just this really weird, we're still trying to educate and make white people see us as humans, and we are bending over backwards to say, hey, look, this black person died this way. Does this seem crazy? Yeah, guess what? He's not going to have the backpack that has the money in it. He's not going to have his lit blunt. He's not going to have a hoodie on. He's going to keep changing himself. In every scenario, he's going to get killed. I can't say anything else besides white people really don't care. And if you're watching this and you're white and you're thinking to yourself, no, I do care. I am just unaware of these situations that are happening. Do you have any social media? Have you stepped outside? Where are you living? Because I'm pretty sure last year we blew up all of Atlanta and basically every major city. Minnesota right now is under lockdown. Like, where have you been if you do not know? It takes a really simple black people police brutality ? That's it. That's all it takes. And if you're still asking, where's the proof? Where is, the science behind, and I mean the science, where are the stats that make it so that we could say, please keep killing black people? Like I said, Google, Alexa, Bing, even Bing has the answer. When Bing has the answer, then Jessica, you just not trying, okay? What really kills me about this movie is at the very end, because it's supposed to be a science fiction. So you have the black guy going through the same thing where every time he gets, he'll wake back up at the beginning of his day, he'll do something different, and then he gets again and he wakes back up at the beginning of his day, and it's just on repeat over and over again. The kills me about this movie is towards the end, I think the last encounter we have, the black man basically asks the cop, he tells the cop what's going on, and the cop is like, are you kidding me? And then he shows the cop and everything that he knows is going to happen to kind of prove his point, and the cop ends up believing him. And he's just like, hey, I don't know how to get home from here because it doesn't matter what I do, I get killed. Usually it's by you, but the end result is I don't make it home to my dog. And he basically asks the cop to give him a ride home. And I'm just like, excuse me? You asking the cop to do what? And the cop agrees. He's like, no, let me take you home. Let me get you home. And while they're in the car, they do this really weird kind of, not really buddy-buddy, but they start talking about their lives and try to get to know each other, try to befriend each other a little bit. The black guy obviously, instigates the conversation, and he starts the conversation, and the white police officer eventually begins chime in with him. They begin to talk about police brutality and how the system is racist, and just your really top surface, we know, but this movie isn't for you if you already know. This movie really is for backwoods Rick and his family out in Kansas who really don't know anything better than, I don't know, their local news. So they talk about this, and as they're talking, the camera pans out over the city that they're in, and I forget which city that they're in, but you see these giant words in text of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, It's very much giving, you know, product placement, but make it like, you know, Black trauma. It's annoying because you see these names flashing across the screen, and I can't help but think to myself, Breonna Taylor gonna be everything but in the proper judicial system. Like, we're still currently in the middle of George Floyd's trials going on, and Minnesota is currently in lockdown because they had no police officer mistaken a taser for a gun. And when I say mistaken, I mean the cop eventually, like, you know, gets to his apartment and they stop. And when I say my anxiety was so high, I was like, there's no way in hell you're gonna walk away from this, because it doesn't work that way. And the cop claps his hands and he tells the Black man, good job, that this is one of his favorite scenarios. So now the audience knows that the cop is hyper aware of what's going on. He knows that he is stuck in this loop with this Black man. He's enjoying himself even. He is portrayed as this maniacal being, and he even says, you know, you try to appeal to like my human side and everything. I really thought that was a nice touch. And then he ends up killing the Black man outside of his apartment. This is the scene that gave us this, like, you know, lovely imagery of a Black man laid out in the pool of his own blood in the shape of Africa. Because right here is where we're supposed to go, oh my God, it wasn't the clothes, it wasn't the blunt, it wasn't the money. It's the fact that he is an African man. It's the fact that he is a Black man. It's the fact that it doesn't matter what he does, he bleeds Africa because he is Black. Like, I'm not surprised it's Oscar nominated, because after I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, white people love this shit. They love a good movie about Black people struggling and not prevailing. But what is the answer next? They love to see it, okay? I think what it was, 2018, 2019, the hashtag Oscars so white was trending, and everyone was like, oh my God, yes, the Oscars are so white. They don't nominate Black people outside of trauma films. And then this movie comes out and it gets nominated. So it's very much, you know, on brand. And just when I thought I couldn't get any more exhausted, the movie basically goes to, like, you know, I guess a staircase, and they make the background fuzzy and they just start rolling all the names of every single last Black person who has been killed by police. And obviously they highlight the big ones, you know, the ones that got the protest going. We highlight Breonna Taylor, we highlight George Floyd, we highlight the big three. Like, that's what it felt like. It just felt like they were highlighting the ones that made the news and then everyone else who didn't. And it just felt like so much, it didn't even feel like pandering. Like, pandering, like, for some reason to me feels differently than what this movie was. This movie just felt like it was cashing in on Black trauma. It was unabashedly cashing in on Black trauma, and it implied it had a point, but it didn't. Like, even if I was white, if I had watched this, I don't think I would have felt anything other than, damn, that's wild. The director said that he wanted to make this as a piece for white people to watch, to have them hopefully understand what it's like to be a Black person in America. And I'm just like, no, you did that again. I think I mentioned in my last Stitch and Bitch where you made the police officer not just malicious, but you made him evil. You made him otherworldly, with the fact that he's hyper aware of this Groundhog Day scenario that he's in. And the way they portray the police officer, they made him seem not human. And again, I'm just like, racism is not a not human thing. It's a very human thing. It is a very, I guess, this earthly plane thing. Racism is a white issue. It is not a Black issue. And it's weird to say, because I know I'm not being as eloquent as the author was, but it's the idea that if you're affected by something, it's somehow your problem and you need to fix it. And he's just like, yeah, so here's the thing. Black people are affected by racism. Non-white people are affected by racism. But it's not the problem to fix. We don't have beef with white people. White people have beef with everyone else. We are just affected by it the most. We're being killed for it. We are dying because of it, which is why we take it on, which is why we are like, hey, we gotta talk about this, we gotta fix it, because if we don't, we get hurt, you know, or worse. And it was just really interesting because I remember reading like the first chapter and I kind of like relaxed my shoulders because I was like, damn, It's not my responsibility. You know what? You're right. This is not my responsibility. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go enjoy being black, and I'm gonna have myself a black ass day. I'm gonna go have a black day. You talk to your racist grandma. Make sure you cop the recipe though. Cop the, I don't know what kind of recipes white grandmas give. Peach cobbler? Isn't that black? I don't know. Cop the recipes you need to cop first, and then talk to your grandma about racism. Because, like I said, it's not going to affect you the same way it's going to affect me. But boy howdy, I am tired of yelling and shouting about this. And the fact that this movie is Oscar nominated, the fact that this movie is even made and people are like, okay, well, it's good, I guess. Oh, people aren't even like that. I think I got like a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. And for once, I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes, you right. This could get less, but like, you right though. I'm so tired of trying to educate people, and I'm choosing not to. And I need more black people to understand that white people do not need to be educated at this point. We have Google, we have the internet. I could give you some keywords, some hotkeys, I don't know, just a couple things, get the ball going. But even then, you could just be like, black people, racism? This movie was garbage. I hate everything about it. I definitely don't recommend it at all. Thumbs it down on Netflix. I think this is going to be my last, or it's going to be a while before I review another Black trauma movie or anything like this, because I really wanted to make this channel a place where I could kind of just rant about things I truly enjoy. And I am upset that my last video for them did so damn well. And when I say well, I mean well for me. Like, my Castlevania video, I think, is currently sitting at like 22 views. And I posted like a month ago. And like, I don't feel bad and anything. I like talking about Castlevania. Season 4 just got announced, and it's gonna be coming out May 13th. It's gonna be the last season, y'all. I don't know how I'm gonna handle it. They got so much to wrap up. Like, what kills me is that my them video, God, I think it's almost had 200 views now. And it's just, I don't want my videos to do well because I'm talking about Black trauma. I don't want to sit down and put myself through the mental stress of watching a Black trauma film. But I'm also trying to get monetized, so here I am, kind of balancing the two. I shall hair my Black trauma. I know there's gonna be another movie that's gonna come up, and I'm gonna watch it because I want to be able to sit down and warn you guys, so you don't watch it. You just thumbs it down. You just go and give it like a 0. Or 0 stars, or whatever voting system they have on each platform. But I need white people to understand that racism is your problem. I'm just affected by it, but it's not my job to educate you anymore. I need black people to understand that they need to live their black ass lives and stop trying to teach white people about police brutality, because they know. And if they don't know, it's not going to take much to get them to know. Okay, the education is it's a 2-minute long course. Okay, you look up a name, you type in police ? And then you see what happens, and then I'm done. I just want to be like bye. I want to like dip, but I am done with this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I'll be back again on Tuesday with a Tuesday TikTok video. And hopefully it will be a lighter hearted video. I don't know what I'm going to talk about on Tuesday, but I have things that I want to talk about, if that makes sense. If you really like this video and you think to yourself, a like and a subscribe just isn't enough. I need to do more. Go check out my Buy Me a Coffee and just buy me some cake. Because a cake is like this is I made this joke last time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to recommend it to all of your friends, and I'll catch you guys on next